I just finished filming this video and I'm just gonna warn you right now, there's a lot of like chaotic energy in this video. I just have way too much energy today, so you have been warned. You might get motion sickness from me moving my hands around so much. And I know the intro is like super long, so I will be putting a timestamp right here if you are just here for the topic at hand. And I'm just gonna put a timestamp right here if you don't want to hear me rambling about my weekend and stuff. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and to another video at home because we're still in a lockdown. Before I even get started on this video, I just want to say that I am so sorry that I didn't post a video last week. I made a little like note on my community tab because not that I was not motivated to film a video, I was just very like uninspired. So anything that I was kind of coming up with, I was just not interested in. And I don't know, I feel like my mood is very down when I'm not able to be really creative, and it's just kind of like draining to me. So I didn't post a video because I didn't want to post something that I was not really happy with. I filmed 2 videos and I was just not really happy with them. So what I decided to do is to take the weekend and just kind of have like a really nice relaxing weekend where I'm not really thinking about what I have to create next week or whatever I have to do. I just wanted to relax the entire weekend. So I decided to rewatch The OC. Honestly, best decision that I've ever made. California, here we come, right back where we started from. And I'm happy to inform that my crush on Adam Brody is still alive and well, and yeah, it's been really great. I'm on season 2 right now, and I'm just having like so much fun rewatching it. And I'm holding myself back from buying like a million polos. I used to have like this massive stack of polos when I was growing up. And then on Saturday, I sat down and I read a magazine, and I have not read a magazine like cover to cover in so long. I used to buy like every single magazine growing up, like 17 magazine and like all those kind of magazines, and I would like sit in my room and just kind of like read every single page, and I haven't done that in years. So I like sat down in the living room and it just kind of like went like cover to cover, and I read the entire thing, and it was just really great to just kind of sit there and read something and like not really worry about anything. What else did I do this weekend? Oh, I also practiced with my roller skates. Do you guys remember last year for my birthday I got roller skates, and I didn't really use them that much last summer, I'm not gonna lie. I like maybe used them like twice. I'm very like, if I'm not good at it right away, I kind of like lose interest in it, to be honest, which is a really horrible habit. So I really am trying to kind of work on that. So this year I decided that it is going to be like my goal this summer to actually get good at it. I learned how to stop, which is really great for me. And then what else did I do this weekend? Oh, it was Mother's Day, obviously. Hung out with my mom, had some takeout, and just watched movies. It was really great weekend, and I feel very like refreshed, and it was very nostalgic, and I don't know, I just have like a lot of energy today. I'm very like, I don't know, happy, and I feel like my energy is just kind of exploding out of all my limbs, and that's probably why I'm moving my hands around so much. Anyway, so for today's video, I thought I would share some of my tips and tricks on how to start a vintage wardrobe or closet. And to be honest, this video was requested a few times, and I was a little reluctant on filming it just because I don't really know how much more I can bring to the table in terms of this conversation. There's a million of these videos around, so I didn't really know how much more I can share. But I made a little list here anyway. I have my little sheet of paper, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. So for the first thing that I wanted to mention is to do your research. So obviously if you are watching this video, you have a certain decade that you want to dress like. So I think it's really important to kind of find out everything you can about that time period. So for example, you want to see how the style changed within that time period and kind of find what you're interested in. Not that you have to put yourself in a box, but if you are interested in a particular time period, it's kind of nice to know what happened in those 10 years. So for example, the 1960s, early 1960s and late 1960s is a completely different game, and I personally prefer early 1960s, but it's always really nice to know how the style evolved throughout the decade and what influences there was. So you want to look at photos for inspirations. I would recommend looking at like celebrities, like more at home or casual paparazzi kind of photos, just because red carpets are not really giving you that much information on what people actually wore in that time period. You also want to look at like actual people's family photos. So if you go on Pinterest, you can always put like 1950s like family photos, that sort of thing. That way you kind of get some really accurate photos of what people actually wore in that time period. Life magazine is a really great resource if you can get your hands on some, or you can always look at them on Pinterest. There's tons of Pinterest of Life magazine photos on there. There's like tons of them. You also want to look at what's happening socially, because obviously the social climate of that time period is going to give you so much information on what people were wearing in that time period. For example, the 1940s, early 1940s was very influenced by the war. Obviously World War II had rationing and all that, so that definitely influenced what people were wearing. Another thing that's really helpful, that I find at least helpful, is to listen to music from that time time period while you're doing research. It kind of helps visualize everything a little bit better for you. I feel like music is the closest thing we have to time travel, and it really helps bring back memories and just kind of create like a really nice visual image for you. So once you're looking at photos and you're listening to the music, I think it's really helpful. So like looking at photos from the 1960s while listening to the Beatles, it is such a vibe. So definitely try to do that if you can. Next tip that I have on my little sheet of paper here is to not go shopping. Do not go on a shopping spree. I'm sure you've watched other videos on this topic and they'll all tell you the exact same thing. Don't go on a shopping trip because they have been there. I've been there. I went on a huge shopping spree on Etsy when I wanted to start dressing vintage, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I love everything that I bought and I do wear everything, but it's just not very responsible and it doesn't really make a lot of sense, to be honest. Once you have all of your research, you're gonna go in your closet and you're gonna kind of pull things that you think work for that time period. I'm sure there's tons of classics that you have in your closet. So for example, cardigans were really big in the 1950s. Cardigans have been trending for a little bit, so I'm sure you have something kind of similar that you don't even know or you realize that you have to pair together to kind of create some really fun outfits from that time period. So once you have your outfits picked out from your closet, next thing that you're going to do is you're going to look at accessories. So accessories are a really great way to make your outfit look a little bit more vintage. So go to the thrift store and see if you can find something like, for example, sunglasses or earrings, silk scarves, handbags, hats make a really big difference if you want to make a really nice vintage outfit. Hats make such a big difference. So definitely check that stuff out first before you go on and buy some actual vintage clothing. Which brings me to my next topic, is actually buying vintage clothes. Once you have your accessories and you have a really good understanding of what you have in your closet, then you can start thinking about buying actual vintage pieces. So what I would recommend is to go to the thrift store for basics. Don't go to Etsy for basics. It's honestly not worth it. It's going to be overpriced and you really don't have to spend that much money. Go to the thrift store for like blouses, cardigans, sweaters, pants, sometimes skirts, that sort of thing. And then for Etsy, you're going to get the more statement pieces. So you want to get like the beautiful vintage dresses and sometimes coats, although the thrift store has some really amazing coats as well, but maybe matching sets, that sort of thing, or things that will help complement everything that you have in your closet already. So stuff that you can pair with a lot of things is where you're going to spend a little bit more money on Etsy. This is where all that research I mentioned earlier is going to come in really handy, because knowing what keywords to look for is going to be super helpful when you're shopping on Etsy. That way you kind of know what certain pieces that you're looking for. This is something that I wanted to talk about in like a how to shop on Etsy kind of video if you guys are interested. I actually have a really big Etsy haul coming up, and I feel like I've kind of mastered how to shop on Etsy and what keywords to use for particular styles that I like. So if you guys want to see a video like that, let me know in the comments below. Like I said, I do have an Etsy haul coming up, so I'll probably pair them together, like one after the other or something. On the topic of Etsy, I just want to say that vintage clothes can be very expensive. Unfortunately, it's kind of like the downside of wearing vintage, and you can find some really amazing pieces for reasonable prices, but I feel like for the most part, it is going to be a little bit more expensive than like fast fashion. So if you have a really good, clear understanding of what style you want to wear, you have some new clothes coming in, then if you see some things in your closet that you know you're not going to be wearing anymore, definitely try to like sell them somewhere. So like Depop, Poshmark, Facebook Marketplace, anywhere like that, and then use that money to buy some vintage clothes. You're decluttering and you're also using that same money to buy something else. So it's really like you're not spending any money at all. At least that's what I keep telling myself. Or if you do want to find some more affordable pieces, what you can do is you can look at decades that were inspired by the decade that you're interested in. So for example, the 1980s pulled inspiration from the 1940s, 1990s from the 1960s, that sort of thing. That way you can find some more affordable pieces that kind of look like they're from the time period that you like, but they are going to be a lot cheaper. As well as you're going to have way more options as well, because obviously there's going to be way more clothing left over from the 1990s than there is from the 1960s. So you're going to have way more to choose from. So this is the kind of thing that I would talk about in like that how to shop on Etsy video. So like I said, if you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments below. What else? Oh, so I personally don't shop in any vintage reproduction brands, and it's not that I don't want to. I like the concept. I just unfortunately haven't found one that really catches my eye or that offers a size small enough for me. Unfortunately, it's very strange, but I can't find anything with my measurements on it. It's always going to be too big, and it just kind of prevents me from shopping there. But if you have any recommendations, let me know in the comments below. I would love to check them out, and I'm sure everybody else watching this video would love to look at some vintage reproduction brands. That pretty much wraps up this video. I hope you guys liked it. Hopefully it wasn't like too much energy for you. I feel like I'm just in a really good mood, so I kind of just wanted to let it flow out of me, I guess. If you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe, and if you are subscribed, make sure to turn on your post notifications so that you don't miss out on any new videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! I wonder if Etsy has polos. Lacoste polos. Oh my god, is this a cheer uniform? Should I buy that? I always wanted a cheer uniform. I've never done cheer in my life. Have the energy for it. But should I buy it, guys?